Hello, welcome to another edition of What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Vivian Kai Loco. Thank you so much for making time to join us for another edition. We basically look at the big stories for the week as reported by various media outlets. When I come back, I'll take you through those stories and then I'll introduce my guest with which I'll have today's discussion. Just stay with us. We'll be right back. So welcome back to What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Vivian Kai Loco. We'll start with the big stories for the week. Of course, in politics, the big story is the energy minister being selected as a running mate for the NPP's Dr. Bawumia. So let's see how that story has panned out so far. We start with the Chronicle. They say Bawumia presents the name of running mate to NEC. The finder says Bawumia reconciles Napo to me ahead of NEC decision on running mate. And on ChannelOneNews.com, NPP National Council approves Opoku Prempeh as Bawumia's running mate. So those are the big stories around Dr. Bawumia and the Energy Minister Matthew Opoku Prempeh over the two leading the NPP for the 2024 general elections. Let's move away from that. Another story that made headlines this week had to do with the CJ's request for more Supreme Court judges. Let's see how that story has developed. We'll start with myjoyonline.com. They say ambulance case judge, 4 others recommended for Supreme Court. CityNewsroom.com, Chief Justice Defense requests for more Supreme Court judges. And then 3news.com, it's a direct threat to the integrity of our judicial system, NDC on recommendation of judges to the Supreme Court. So those are the stories around that news item. We'll move away from that and we'll go to the issue of cement prices and the LI being laid in Parliament to regulate the prices of cement. So let's see how that story was captured by various media outlets. We start with the Informer. They say cement manufacturers defy minister increase price by 12 cities. City Newsroom, LI on cement price regulation will enhance transparency. Professor Alex Dodu speaking over there. And then ChannelOneNews.com says Bagbin advises Katie Hammond to withdraw LI on cement price regulation. So those are some of the stories around that. We'll move away from that. We'll move to the energy sector over talks of the restructuring of debt-owed IPPs. Let's see how that was also reported. The new finder says $1 billion IPPs debt restructured. Parliamentary approval required to finalize amended terms. The Observer says government restructures $1 billion legacy debt with IPPs. And then Daily Guide Network says government restructures $1 billion legacy debt with IPPs. So those are some of the stories around that. And finally, we move to fuel prices increase during the week. Let's see how that was also captured. Let's take you to citynewsroom.com. They say fuel prices go up. Diesel inches towards 15 cedis per litre. And then My Joy Online, fuel price increase, diesel selling at 14 cedis, 0.92 pesos. Petrol, 14 cedis, 80 pesos a litre. So those are some of the big stories for the week. When I come back, I'll introduce my guests. Stay with us. So you're welcome back to What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Vivian Kai Loco. Let me introduce to you my guest for today, and then we'll quickly delve into the stories. My first guest is Samuel Atamensa, here with us at Channel One TV as well as City FM. Welcome.
Thank you, Vivian.
And then I have Selim Adonu also here with us at Channel One TV as well as City FM. Selim, welcome.
Thank you, Vivian.
So, gentlemen, I believe we will start with Dr. Bawumia's choice for running mate. The Honorable Matthew Opoku Prempeh, He was approved today as well by the party. He's been subsequently announced as the running mate for Dr. Bawumia. Last week we spoke extensively about the decision to have him on board. So I think we'll move quickly to perhaps, let me start with you, Samens, on this matter. Last week you were not with us, so I'll start with you on the Napo issue and pick your thoughts around the kind of strategy. Of course, you're not in the party, but from standing from behind, what kind of campaign strategy you think they would employ to ensure that they win the elections? We know one of the reasons we've heard it was brought on board is to help bring the Ashanti region on board and shore up votes and all that. So what kind of strategy will we see from their side to ensure that they win well for the 2024 elections?
Thank you, Vivian. Truth is, it will be difficult for me to second guess what would be considered their strategy. You know, what I would hazard to try and put in context is what he brings to the table. You know, I keep hearing the Ashanti thing, and rightly so, you know. But the point is that he's not the only Ashanti person within the ranks in the party. So why him and not somebody else? Because there were other names that popped up.
Like the education minister.
Yeah, within the Ashanti. I think by and large, they have chosen somebody who kind of bridges the gap between the Kufuor side and, if you like, the new generation. And you talk about the politics of Ashanti region in the last, say, 20 years and a bit. Napo has been instrumental, right in the core of it. And I am not so sure whether he has, while being in that role, misconducted himself in any particular way. You hear people saying all sorts of things. You know, I heard somebody, oh, he's arrogant. Somebody said he doesn't smile. I don't know when you met him that he was not smiling.
Maybe you saw him on TV or something, and anytime he pops up on his TV, said he has a frown.
Well, it's okay for people to make that observation, you know, and if he hears it, he should just smile so that people will be happy, you know. but having said that, I think it's the steam is in the Ashanti region. You know, you can't take the Ashanti region for granted and believe that you will win. Seeing that Dr. Bawumia himself doesn't hail from the Akan regions. So it is important to have somebody who's well-grounded. I think they have chosen. But as for the issue of people who disagree, I don't even see the news in that. I do not see the news in that. You understand? Because right from the choice of Kor in Kensen Aka in 92, people objected. NDC people objected to it. Rawlings went ahead. Kufuor chose in Kensen Aka in 96. NPP people objected to it. Kufuor went ahead. Kufuor chose Aliu Mahama. You understand? Look.
Whichever way there'll be, you know.
People, no, I'm saying that at all times that candidates have made a choice for running mates, there have been objections. Indeed, even with Bawumia, there were serious objections from the upper echelons of NPP. So for me, it's no news. It's a regular thing. In fact, I would rather be surprised if there are no objections.
But the issues raised from in this case, the MP, I'm trying to remember his name, Akubi, on issues of his problem with Napo not being able or wouldn't be able to
take him along. But you're not his friend.
And all that.
If you have a fight with him, why should he take you along? You have a fight with him. Just say it. Lay the premise properly so that people will know where you are coming from.
So you feel this is personal?
It is very personal. It is personal. I mean, he didn't hide it. So, but what I'm saying is that it is okay
But there's the
It's
issue of...
okay for you not to believe in the choice. It's part of party politics. It does not disqualify him. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I'll move away from that. But before that, we also saw the issue, which, of course, over the weekend, we saw Dr. Bawumia himself get involved to deal with the matter, the issue of the chairman of the Ashanti region with regards to Napo again over some issues. So clearly there appears to be some...
In every political establishment, especially at the top, you find these cracks. Indeed, the effort he made openly to try and bridge the gap is the way to go. He didn't sit in denial to say that, oh, everything is fine, let's go to sleep. The man went, met them, he didn't hide it, he opened openly. And indeed, even after this, my experience in this, there will still be some cracks because it's political.
But the person in question, which is Napo himself, what do you think he should be doing to, to bring people along, to deal with some of these issues, to clear some of the impressions of him?
Well, he should just work. He should do his work. I mean, perceptions will vary based on where you stand, where you take your view. Yeah. So I don't know. There are people who object, which is okay. There are people who see differently. It's okay. He should just do his work. He should just do his work. You see, it's a big deal to the extent that it happens in politics. Now, if you don't do anything about it, that's a problem. And I'm just saying that he should just get to work. Don't be dismissive. Just take note that this is how some people view the role that I've been given. Can I correct it? Can I do anything to bring better value? And I think you should just concentrate on it. You don't throw your arms in despair and say 1, 2 persons disagree with the thing, so what, I should go back? No, he should do his work. Every good political choice will come with opposition. Okay. And it's been established from 92 up to date in all the major political parties.
There's always a bit of, disagreement. Let me bring you in, Selom. Last week you spoke extensively on,
Yeah. So I mean, last week I think last week I was trying to analyze, what he brought to the table, what he didn't bring, and you thought I was supporting him, and I said no.
I thought you were doing what?
You thought I was supporting him, but I said no. So I think he's a strong character, really. I think he's a strong candidate. He's, like I said last week, is somebody you can leave on the campaign trail on his own. You don't need to hold his hands. Now, holding hands has become the phrase. You don't need to hold his hands. I mean, he can lead his own campaign team, like we saw John Mahama do in 2008. And I think he can do that so well. I think that's what he brings to the table. The Ashanti question is huge. It's a big deal. I think he answers that as well. I think, like Samuel said, what he has to do is to watch the perceptions. I mean, what people think of him. There are times you can help it, there are times you cannot help it. On Eyewitness News, the Professor Dujenfi was saying that they shouldn't let him speak extempore. I don't know what that means.
You should stick to the script.
You should stick to the script. If you make Napo stick to the script, then you are not deploying him well. But I said you keep to the script so he doesn't say things.
Which script? That's in written script.
Written script. So he shouldn't speak extempore.
The medical doctor, Dujenfi.
No, that's Professor. I is a Reverend Professor Dujenfi. They say he's a political historian at KNUST.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant Professor
he should speak. He should stick to the script. He shouldn't speak on top of his head, because maybe he will say things which will not be appropriate. I mean, judging from some of his recent comments, I think those things will come at him.
I'd like to react to that.
He must watch those, because people think that when you push him to the wall, he will say something which
may not go.
Yes, which may not be presidential or which may not be nice. So he has to watch that. They may push him. He has to watch his temperament, because now he's in a different space, and he must know that he won't go down alone. He will go down with the aspirations of millions of people, and he will not be forgiven easily. I think he knows the terrain. He's used to the rough and tumble of politics. When you take it to him, he'll bring it back to you, and that kind of thing. So I think he fits the bill. They must rally around. he must ensure that he brings the needed support, galvanize. I wasn't surprised he said they were going to outdoor him in the Ashanti region. They'll show him to the Ashanti and all of that. It's all part of, what they have to do to awaken the Ashanti votes if the votes are sleeping. And I said last week that the way they organized Bawumia's tour of the Ashanti was huge, and people thought it was not necessary, but it gave hope, or it would give hope to people who would think that, or who thought that Ashanti was not for him, or people were tired. The numbers that poured onto the street, and I said it was induced, but of course it happens in politics. It sends a certain signal. Napo, I'm sure, will be put in charge of that in a few other regions. And I was trying to get from the people what really his role specifically will be, but they said that will be seen in the next few days, whether he'll be given a specific part of the campaign to run, like what we saw of Bawumia dealing with the economy specifically.
Well, what do you think? I mean, we don't know what is in there. We can't second guess.
No, I don't think they'll limit him. I think he'll be used like John Mahama in 2008. You not give him a specific area. You let him go all out. You let him campaign on all the issues. Free SHS, yes, it will be a strong point, but let him campaign on all the areas. I think it's an all-round politician. He can deal with all the issues. Unlike Bawumia, who was lopsided with the economy. This guy can deal with all the issues. So let him go on his own. Let him run with the manifesto generally and what he thinks is right. And I think he can hold his own.
Should he be tackling energy with all what we're seeing? With his answers? Or,
I don't think energy. I don't think energy will be a very strong point for him. And energy is very technical. Energy is very technical. I don't know how much you can say to convince the ordinary person about energy. Energy is very technical. So what are you going to say? All that people care about is that the lights are on, they have fuel. I said last week that the role of the energy minister is very simple. One, keep the lights on and keep the wheels moving. If you're unable to do these things, then you failed. So I don't know what else he will say about that. He should just focus on the general issues and deal with them and sell his message. Okay.
Let me bring in some message, because when you're talking about the professor talk, saying that you should stick with the script, he had an interesting laughter. So
no, I was wondering which script he was referring to. Okay. But I think Solomon,
the written script.
It's again, it's important for us to bring our minds to the history in the Fourth Republic of the roles that have been played by running mates. And I think that there was a point of inflection with the introduction of Bawumia as a running mate. I mean, I don't need to overemphasize. And his role that he played actually redefined what we now expect of a running mate, okay? Hitherto, running mates were, like assistants. Massa say do, there you do, like that.
The shadows.
But Bawumia came and took the wheel and took us through another, ride. So kind of redefined that. I don't know what the strategy is, and I won't pretend to know. And I would only talk about Napo from what I know about him. Because I was in school with him. Okay. He was the local NUCS president. We were in students' leadership together.
So this is somebody you know very well.
I'm
going to ask you a straightforward
I know Quiet well.
Okay, Quiet. Is he arrogant? Close when you're close with? Is it what we see?
I have not experienced that bit, so it will be difficult for me to say. No. I'm saying that I have not. But he's not as frontal as maybe as Bawumia, as Bawumia would come and talk about. Napo is the one who likes to work underground. Okay. And so by the time he comes out, he would have covered a lot. That's the Napo I know. Right from his days at NUCS, right through even in active politics at education ministry, you hardly ever heard Napo giving a press conference. You are the head of news. But the degree of engagement that he had with the unions and, So I'm just saying that what I know is that this person, he uses what we call Ifienyansa. Okay. He hardly ever talks. So, yes.
Shy person.
Napo would do his work before he speaks. That's the Napo I know. Okay. I mean, if you know differently, that's what you know. I'm only saying what I know. So it won't be, we may be disappointed if we think that he's coming to take on the system and also do speeches like Bawumia and, you know, I'm not so sure about Napo will do that.
I mean, we may see more of some underground workings and then the results.
I think that Napo has the power to penetrate the system. That's him. Okay. If he has changed, then Napo, you're on your own. but what I know is what I'm talking about.
Okay. So in the coming days and weeks, we see, I think that from tomorrow, the real campaign and the action starts.
I think he's issued a statement. He's issued a statement, you know, accepting the offer or the position and pledging to work hard to ensure that they break the 8 and all of that. And he said quite a few nice things in there. I mean, the path has been chosen for him by God and all of that. You know, he said all the things.
All the nice things.
That have to be said, bringing in the God element and all of that.
Unity,
you know.
service. So we'll see. I think from next week we can look at, you know, the two sides and pair them and see. So I wouldn't go deeper into that. The choice of Jane and then Napo and all that. So we'll make progress. If you permit me, should we do the cement or the...
Okay,
so let's move to the cement because I think one way or the other it affects all of us as Ghanaians and all that, the prices. Now the trade minister wants to regulate the prices. He's received some opposition from those who manufacture, sell, manufacture and retail the cement. They are not happy with it, leading to them even boycotting a meeting with them. He's gone ahead, he's laid that LI in Parliament. The Speaker of Parliament has asked him to withdraw it. Fortunately, he has support from the minority side as well as the majority side. Let me start with you, Selom. You finished building your house not too long. Is it 2 years or 3 years?
Oh, see you. I beg you. No, don't restart it. I think, you know, cement is important. And anything or any attempt to try to bring down the price of some material or commodity like cement is great. But I'm not sure if the approach the minister wants to use is the right one, because it does appear, and indeed is the fact, that a lot of the materials used for the manufacture of cement are generally or mostly imported. And once they are imported, they are subject to the general, you know, exchange rate environment. So that is the argument of the manufacturers. As to whether the price is higher than it should be, I'm not in a position to tell. Perhaps the minister knows something we don't know. So that is why he says that it's important for them to start doing the reporting to the committee. So once the reporting is done, the ex-factory price and all of that is known, then we'll be able to tell whether they are making too much profit or not. And I'm sure more or less they will set a maximum price they shouldn't go over and all of that. So that will bring some reprieve to the ordinary persons. Of course, I've also heard the argument that if they are not making profits, it means they are going to reduce their production, the production volumes, you know, jobs are going to be lost, etc. They are in business to make money, but making so much money at the expense of the poor ordinary person is where the problem is. So I only want to believe that the minister going on this route, which is an interesting route for me, should certainly know something that we do not know. And then he's not just going on a wild goose chase, hoping something good comes out, when he does not actually know what's on the ground. He also, at some point, was wondering why cement should be selling at different prices at different parts of the country, comparing it to oil or fuel. He's been at the energy ministry and he's been an energy guy, so his mind thinks like that. But in case of the case of the fuel price, there's a margin put on the fuel, which caters for the transportation. They call it the UPPF, which caters for the transportation. That is why fuel in Accra is the same as fuel in Bogatanga. We don't have the same thing in the cement industry. Unless, of course, he's saying that he will let them put a small margin on it to cater for the transportation bit. So he didn't get that side correctly. And he's not told us that's what he wants to do. If that's what he wants to do, that would be great, because it doesn't make sense why cement should be selling at such a huge, at a higher price in another part of the country than somewhere else.
Well, he actually included that in his airline, where he's saying that they'll look at, the committee will look at the ex-factory price of cement, which excludes
so the ex-factory price doesn't include the transportation. So that's where his focus is. I'm not sure he will do anything about the transportation bit. But if you'll be able to do something about the transportation, then that will bring some relief to people in other parts of the country where the cement costs a bit higher than in Accra. But I think the general economic environment affects it. An easier way of doing it, not easier way, maybe a difficult way of doing it, is to ensure the exchange rate is stable and things like that. But that's difficult. Another way of doing it also is, of course, we cannot leave cement out of the question. But there are ways I think we can reduce our dependence on cement. I heard about the Pozolana experience, story and all of that. I thought it was great. CSIR, that is why we set them up. BRRI, that's why we set them up. If they've been able to come up with something together with KNUST, etc., which is good for our environment and will be useful in our environment, I thought government should throw its weight behind it. Government does a lot of projects across the country, building of schools, building of bridges, etc. Let's use some of these. If they even get contract from government to produce or to supply the cement to government projects, it will go a long way to cushion them. But I don't know what happened, and they are nowhere to be found anymore. But this is as a result of our own research, and it is good for our system. I don't know why we left it to be where it is now. I think it's important to go back for it. That is where the solution is.
Okay. Let me bring in Isamens. People believe this is an easy way out, forcing people to price. It's a free market. Why are you dictating to people how they should price their goods?
This matter. I think gradually the minister has found a way of shifting his position from
policy,
from determining the price of cement to monitoring the, if you like, the value chain. You understand? So first he says that they should bring their prices down. He will compel them to do that. And gradually, quietly, the thing is changing. Okay? But it's important for all of us to appreciate the exchanges. Okay? Now, this is a minister of trade, and he thinks that price is a critical component of the makeup of our infrastructure and industry. And so if the prices of cement become unbearable, then it goes to affect the health of the economy, so to speak. Now, in the first place, I ask myself, under whose watch did we allow this many cement manufacturing companies?
You think there are too many?
We have 14 of them. We have 14 cement manufacturing companies. Okay? The United Kingdom of Great Britain has 7.
Right.
We have more cement manufacturing companies than Togo. We have more than Benin. Vivian, do you know that our pricing, Togo is 5%, the price of cement is 5% below the price of cement in Ghana?
What we have.
Currently. Benin is 10% below the price as we have. Indeed, in the West Africa sub-region, the current price of cement in Ghana is among the lowest.
The highest?
No, the lowest. It's among the lowest. I'm just saying that Togo is 5% more than us. Benin is 10% more than us.
More than us, okay.
Yes. You understand?
Yeah.
So, I'm saying that it's not such an impossible situation. Okay? Why is that? Because about 77 to 80% of the cost structure is directly linked to Forex. About 77 to 80% is directly linked to Forex.
Yeah.
So you are left with a certain 20% to play around with. Because as for the Forex, no cement manufacturing company can control it.
Yeah.
And guess what? And I won't go far. Between 2022 and 2024, cement prices have gone up by 25%. In the last 2 years. 25%. Forex has gone up by 82%. There's clearly a mismatch.
Yeah, something's wrong
Clearly
somewhere.
a mismatch. If Forex has gone bonkers, and this 82%, I'm using Ghana Statistical Service rate. If I go into the industry rate, it would have gone up by 104%. But let me not go there. I'll use the official rate. 82%. And cement prices have only increased by 25%. So I'm just saying that it's not such that we can't do much about it so long as we are not controlling the Forex. Because they are buying clinker. And if your clinker and your gypsum together form 80% and it's directly linked to Forex, you can't do much about it. And another thing is, I would expect that the committees, if you like, monitoring should not end at the retail point. It should move beyond the retail point to the Ghana Revenue Authority.
Why is that?
Because, you know, if you are in this cement manufacturing business, if you have, say, a ton of clinker, 1 ton, they all know how many bags of cement 1 ton can produce. So if a company A imports 1 ton of clinker, passes through the port, the flag should be raised at Ghana Revenue to expect a certain declaration of an amount of cement so produced. Do you get what I'm saying? So if somebody imports 1 ton of cement, and instead of, say, producing 100 bags of cement, they come and declare 10 bags of cement, and you think, and then in addition to that, they are able to price downwards, you should know that there's something wrong with it. So I'm just saying that if they want to monitor, they should monitor from beginning to the end, so that they create a fair playing field for everybody. Because some are undercutting, because they are dodging the taxes, they are under-declaring, and all sorts of funny things.
So there's a lot of work there. It's not
so
simple.
If they want to do it, fair. But they should be fair to everybody. But what you cannot regulate as a ministry, even as parliament, is the factor that is linked to the Forex. Not until we are able to control the Forex, we can go to church and pray over it. Nothing will happen.
So do you believe that?
You know what I think, if they don't manage this thing well, if they don't manage it well, what I think will happen is that they are going to shut down some of the cement companies.
Wrongfully?
No, I mean, they are going to force circumstances.
Okay, they have to shut because of the situation.
I mean, how do you force me when I don't manufacture dollar? Everything. And look, Vivian, even the consumables, the consumables that they buy also have dollar elements, euro elements. They buy spare parts, lubricants, grinding chemicals, and all these things are all imported. You understand? So it's not as easy as we see it. But let me go to the LI as, you know, Salom. The purpose of the LI. It says the streamlining and regularization of the pricing elements for wholesale and retail distribution in the country. All right. Second, the pricing of cement in the country in a fair and transparent manner. We agree 100%. C, the prevention of price gouging in the pricing of cement. I am not so sure if we believe that companies will just take liberty to just gouge, just throw prices at will because they only want to make. I mean, in a small country like Ghana, where you have 14 cement manufacturing companies, you think that somebody would just commit suicide by just...
The sheer numbers should make a sector competitive.
It's highly competitive.
And reduce the price.
And if you talk to the distributors, Salom, you should see the margins that they put on the cement. 1 cedi.
They just
I
rely on
think
the volume.
I think it's a simplistic approach. I think it's a lazy man's approach.
So I think we should do, if they, I mean, you can, if Parliament wants to monitor, we thank God. But I'm saying that they should be fair to all, and they should not just monitor up to the retail. They should monitor up to the GRA place and see who is chopping bad and release Yoko on the people who are doing it.
The issue with my difficulty with regulation or regulators generally in this country is, I mean, nobody cares. I mean, nobody is very responsible. So we'll hear they will do it, but they won't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So there'll be the general thing which will be slapped on everybody. But when you drill down, they are not doing their job. You know, and that's where the problem is going to come from. Like Simon is alluding to or is afraid will happen. Regulation or regulators in this country, I fear. So we'll do it, we'll regulate it. It won't happen. They'll start few days and nothing happens anymore. And then people will be disadvantaged and what we fear will happen. That is it. To date, it's not been explained to us properly how it's going to be done. I don't really understand how this is going to be done. But maybe, and you see the thing about this is once it passes, it becomes law.
Okay.
You know, before you overturn it, you need to marshal more than 2/3 of the numbers in Parliament. This Parliament cannot do that. Already majority. Okay, now minority is playing ball. I mean, in respect of this, Mutala says he doesn't agree, but then his leaders have gone to agree, whatever the reason is being. So I don't know. Babin wants them to withdraw it and look at it. I think Martin came back strongly to say no. It's going this way.
No matter what they do, if the forex does not improve, nothing will change.
The cement price will expose you.
If the forex does not, if you don't do anything about forex, nothing will change. At West, people will shut shop and staff are going to lose their jobs.
And all that. I'll have to take a quick break, but when I come back, I'll just pick your comments on this. This is a minister who is trying to change a lot of things. He attempted to do the imports thing and all that. I'll let you speak when I come. I need to take a quick break. It's what the papers are saying. My name is Vivian Kaya Loko here with Samuel Tamis as well as Selim Adonu. We'll be right back. So welcome back to what the papers are saying. My name is Vivian Kyle. I'm here with Samuel Tamis as well as Selim Adonu. We're looking at the big stories for the week. We're currently discussing the issue to do with the prices of cement. So I was saying that this is a minister who is trying to correct things as has developed in this country. Issue of imports. He tried to deal with that. I mean, the same public wants us to deal with imports. Now he tries to make a move. It doesn't go anywhere. Cement and all that. Is it about his approach, or I mean, the support doesn't appear to come from the same thing we want changed?
I think he may have good intentions, but I think the approach is faulty oftentimes. The same guy who wanted the import restrictions, we like that, but the approach was not correct. Okay, you don't just say you are restricting imports when you don't have substitutes. You don't, like, all of a sudden it must happen. The approach wasn't good. And so that suffered a stillbirth. And then just when we thought we were okay, he's come to introduce this one too. So I don't know where he gets these ideas from. It's a good thing, right? I don't know whether he tries to be populist or not. But of course, if you reduce the price of cement, we like it. If Ghanaian products are doing well, our currency is strong, our economy is growing, people are getting jobs to do, the economy is good, we are happy. But the approach, it doesn't appear that it's something he's thought through well. And he doesn't, even in this cement matter, he didn't think that it was important to consult or to talk to the stakeholders.
But at the last minute, he invited them and they didn't turn up. I mean, what is that?
He invited who?
The cement manufacturers for a meeting.
Which meeting?
A meeting on the airline, on the way forward.
Did
you see a copy of the invite?
Well, I didn't.
No, I mean, not so you answer, but I'm just saying that, which meeting? The people were called the night before that they should meet the minister.
I see they have nothing doing.
They agreed to meet the minister.
Yes, so why did they
The time that they were given to meet the minister, they got there and they were told that the minister had gone to Jubilee House. So they decided, well, should we wait? Should we go and come? The PA says, okay, you can go and come. I will call you when the minister comes. Indeed, they didn't even go. They went to sit in a hotel next door. Yeah? Minister came back. They called them that the minister is back. Now, when they got there, they noticed that it was a press conference.
Oh.
And they said, we're not invited to a press conference. And these guys said, no, but the minister said you should come because we want to meet the press together. And they said, no, we don't know what we are going to tell the press. So we will choose to wait in the minister's office while you do your press conference. So at the time the press conference was going on, the cement manufacturers were in the building.
Wow. Because he said in publicly that...
I am saying that they were in the building.
At the ministry?
Yes.
Wow.
So which boycott?
Then they boycotted the press conference.
But you didn't invite them. I mean, press conference to tell them what?
Yes.
They asked you, what should we go and tell them?
Yeah.
Look, I think in all these things, we should recognize that we are not dealing with kids.
Children.
I mean, the fact that you are a minister does not make you the wisest human being on earth. You are a minister. We respect you. The industry, these are people who are invested in their companies and they are running businesses. Yours is to manage, regulate, guide, and all that. We understand. But you can't bully your way. You will not succeed. Your Figuran's outfit, they jump from country to country telling people that it's time, the time is right for you to come and invest in Ghana. And then when they come and invest in Ghana, is that how we treat them? And then Yofi will go back there. They will slap you one of the days when he gets there. You understand? So I'm just saying that we should treat them fairly, whatever it is. We should treat them fairly. So I am saying that it wasn't a boycott. So if the minister indeed said they had boycotted, then it's not being fair.
Wow, this is another, revelation on this.
Charlie, he should. I mean, he should tone down. You understand? It's a few months to elections. I'm not saying everything should stop. This is a major thing he wants to do. I don't know why he wants to push it through. The key players in the industry, you call them a night, as if you don't have anything doing it, as if they are children. And now we're hearing, no, it's not correct. It's not good. I mean, take your time. Let's do it. You want to build a nation. You want cement prices to come down. Yes, let's do it well. Let's get the people involved. They've invested. They are not children. They are key industry players. Can you imagine what will happen if all of them shut their operations? Or if they go, if they go on strike maybe for a month that will not produce cement, of course they will lose.
What would they lose?
No, maybe they will not get money for the period.
If they are already losing through the forex exposure,
you know, we need
they'll rather gain because the more you produce, the more you lose.
we need to approach this way. Yes, we want it to come if it's possible, but let's approach it well. I mean, it's not good.
Okay, I hope the minister is watching and will take some.
Well, I think Ghanaians should come along. Let's be logical in the way we handle this. We will all be happy if we're able to bring the prices of cement down. Okay, but if clinker and gypsum will combined would amount to about 70, about almost 80%. And everything is about the dollar, the euro. How do you?
So how about the pozzolana? It's a very attractive proposition for me, even though I've not used pozzolana before. But hearing the story, it makes it quite attractive to me. I don't know why we will sit, think, dream, or research on something, produce it, and allow it to go waste, when indeed we do not have the resources to keep importing clinker, etc., to manufacture cement. It doesn't make sense to me. We make nonsense of institutions, BRI, and all of the things they do. I mean, there's a reason why they were set up. Yeah. And if they are delivering on that mandate, let's encourage them. Fortunately, it is a material government uses every time because government does projects. If you say, okay, let's say 50% of the cement-related things you use should come from this side, it gives them more money to be able to produce. When they produce, they employ Ghanaians. The money stays in Ghana. I just don't get it. But I mean,
we have pozzolana cement, and people should have the choice to buy pozzolana cement. They are still producing pozzolana cement, and I don't think it costs as much as this one. So people should be able to buy.
It.
It's a free market.
It's available.
Yes, but there's a way I think government should be able to support or encourage the company to do more. So, for example, if a big school building is put up, and we know that, for example, Pozolana was used to do this, the trust of the people in that cement goes up, and they have more money to do other things, produce more, attract more market, and etc. And it's ours.
Okay. I think we will move on with that. We have a few minutes, so I'll quickly pick your thoughts on the CJ's request for more judges on the Supreme Court. I'll start with you because you are in the fraternity. So perhaps to pick your reaction to that. The NDC says it's unconstitutional. You can explain to us whether that's the case. Well, and then whether it's out of place to have the amount of numbers we're seeing. I think that's one of the concerns. And
well,
the timing.
In terms of the numbers, you know, the argument is that there are a lot of cases the Supreme Court is dealing with. It's a backlog, and the judges there are overworked. You know, that's the understanding we have. So until we have a way of deliberately, you know, reducing the number of cases that travel to the Supreme Court, we'll continue to have those issues. We should be able to say that some cases should end at, let's say, Court of Appeal.
Yeah.
Or, so for example, parliamentary election-related matters do not go to the Supreme Court. That's by law. So they end at the Court of Appeal. We should be able to say so for a number of things. But, of course, we have to deal with the basic law, which is the Constitution. Okay. So that not every matter goes to the Supreme Court as of right. Others compare it to the US 9 Supreme Court judges, etc. But it's a federal system, so there are Supreme Courts in all the states. So by the time matters go there, and it's every matter that goes there, by the time matters go there, they would have been resolved one way or the other, or maybe they would have been barred from getting there. There should be a way the system itself restrains cases from going there. In terms of appointment of judges to the Supreme Court, it is a big deal. Appointment to Supreme Court is a big deal everywhere. In the US, it's a major issue, because the nature of their Supreme Court is that one person could tilt the balance, and it's so important. In our system, we pretend that the people going there are neutral. Okay, we pretend, but they are not. All right, they may try to be, but nobody will appoint his enemy to a key position like that. So they may not be overtly political, but of course, like in jurisprudence, there's something we call the American realist theory. They go to school. They attend church. They grew up in areas. They are with us. So they have views. What I say is I'm a Christian because I was born into a Christian home. If I was born into a Muslim, I might have been a Muslim. So the fact that I come from somewhere means that I have views on things. And if I get to the Supreme Court, I go with these views. The views may not be wrong, but that's how I think and that's how I see things. All right. The same way they come from certain regions. They come from certain places. Some regions are predominantly, you know, supporters of this regime. They come from various places, so it's important to know the judge. All right, so that's what happens. Now, CJ's action requesting the president to appoint or nominate the 5 persons to the Supreme Court was quite strange, because normally, I mean, the Constitution in Article 1442, you know, talks about how Supreme Court judges should be appointed. So the other Supreme Court judges or justices shall be appointed by the president, acting on the advice of the Judicial Council, in consultation with the Council of State and with approval of Parliament. So there is no direct rule for the CJ in this. The CJ chairs the Judicial Council. So it was quite strange that the CJ wrote, without reference to the Judicial Council, she wrote requesting the president to consider the following 5 people. So what then becomes the role of the Judicial Council? Is it after you, the CJ, you've written to the president, now the president takes the list and takes it back to the Judicial Council, which you chair. So you would have been in the chair considering a list that you had generated yourself. I don't know how that works. So in as much as it is not a route prescribed by the Constitution, it becomes unconstitutional. Okay. And that's why the NDC is saying that it's null and void. So nobody knows how it was going to work. Fortunately or unfortunately, the list then gets to the Judicial Council. And we understand the Judicial Council rejected it, saying that the timing was wrong, the numbers were huge, it will deepen a certain perception, etc. And I wonder how the CJ herself, who chairs the Judicial Council, did not water the ground properly before the list got there. Because if these are people you feel strongly about, that they are so good that they have to be on the Supreme Court, I mean, you have influence. I mean, there's a way they lobby, there's a way you talk to people to prepare their minds, okay, this list will come. You think A, B, and C. Yeah. So there are more questions than answers in this particular one. Okay. I don't know how she generated a list, without recourse to the Judicial Council. There was, I read the letter, there was no mention of Judicial Council. Yeah. It was on her own requesting the president to consider the list or to consider them. And I'm not sure. And I mean, some of the judges are very good. But when Justice Mafusai of blessed memory and Justice Doji Agnes Doji were appointed to the Supreme Court, it had just come after or in the course of the Charlotte Osei committee matter. They were on the committee. So just before the committee will end, they were appointed to the Supreme Court. So people said, these guys are on a key matter. You have appointed them to the Supreme Court, nominated them to the Supreme Court bench. What are you trying to talk about? What are you trying to say? So a similar case here, a similar matter they are raising in respect of Justice Sewa. Very, very solid woman. She doesn't really care about many things. She will do her job. But the perception and the optics are not. This is in the middle of such a heated political trial, and now there is, a promotion. I mean, I'm not saying she'll be influenced by it, but she's human. How is she supposed to do that? And a few other things. I think. Okay. We need to watch those things quite well.
Let me let Samens have the final word.
No, me, I don't have anything to say.
You are listening attentively.
No, I'm listening. So I don't have anything.
He was listening attentively.
But I watched Fifi Kwete's press conference, and I could feel Fifi Kwete say that, please, wait, so that when we can also we can add the 5. So we also have our people. They say, why are you putting your people there? Wait, so that when we can, we will put our people there. Ghana, Charlie, one is it's not like Charlie. No, wait. When we count there, we put our people there. It's not like don't put anything there. That is wrong. No. It says stop. You are putting your people there. Well, Charlie Selov, I think you've made a point, But everything aside, we should admit that the workload at the Supreme Court today is just unbearable. It's just unbearable. And given the fact that most of them are advanced in age, you would expect that the bones will start shouting. So they should find a way to solve this issue.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Our time is up. Samuel Atamensa and Salam Adonu, all with us here at Channel One TV, as well as City FM. My name is Vivian Kailoko. Thank you, too, for joining us. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.